Uh-oh. I think I might have changed my mind. Nighty night. Sit down, boy. Sit down, boy.
Agent down.
Sit down, dude.
Okay, this rifle is special. And at one point in time, I went head to head against someone using it while I wielded the legendary Urban MDR. Let me give you some context. When I made the Urban Legend build, I went on a tear in the Dark Zone. This is when rifles were very, very good, by the way. One talent made them unbelievable, almost unbeatable even, and that was called entrenched. Listen up, fam. I have to take a moment and acknowledge the developers for listening, and honestly, I believe that for this specifically, Yannick was watching my videos. And Yannick, if you're watching this one, I appreciate you, my guy, because there can't be a bigger sign than this. Just hear me out. That talent back in the day, entrenched, was severely nerfed and since never been the same. The talent used to be exclusively on the Fox's pair of knee pads and read, perfectly entrenched. Headshots from cover repair 15% of your armor, full stop. But the requirement was that you needed to have a rifle or a marksman rifle drawn. After Warlords of New York, it got nerfed and a cooldown was added as a requirement for the armor repair. 6 seconds. The armor repair amount also increased to 30% instead of 15%. And finally, your armor had to be below 30% for this whole talent to activate. This made it completely useless. You and I both know that in Division 2 we take way too much damage for something like 30% armor repair locked behind a cooldown to have any significance. You'll just get downed. Over the years, I'd been vocal about this, trying to get the devs to bring it back to its glory. And ladies and gentlemen, they have listened. I don't know of any other content creator who's complained about the entrenched talent as much as I have. Not many players even use rifles, so why would they? So in those videos, I would explain why entrenched is such an important talent for rifles, and they gave it a massive buff that was not in the patch notes. Do you know that now the cooldown for perfectly entrenched on the named ZWA brand set piece called the Bober, I think, is 1 second. This is insane. Now it actually feels like something that is useful. I still personally think it should have no cooldown because, number one, headshots require skill, okay? Number two, you must be in cover. And number three, you have to have less than 30% armor for this to activate. That would be totally fair, I think, right? I'll tell you what. Let's try as a community to get this cooldown completely removed. What's 1 second, right? I want you to share this with as many people as possible, even Yannick, and hopefully it'll get changed. And I know you want me to tell you what the rifle is. Don't worry, I will in a second. It's all connected, trust me. So let's get back to the story, okay? Back in the day when I was using the Urban MDR, I got another player in his feelings. I kept killing him and his group with my rifle build. He finally got fed up and eventually put on a rifle build himself and said this.
Mine's fucking better than yours. Kill yourself, dude.
I said to him, okay, lucky kill, and I came back with a vengeance, and this happened. Now, one reason that the Urban MDR was so strong is because it and one other rifle called the MK17 had a headshot multiplier on them, 1.95. So this meant that it hit harder than any other rifle when landing headshots, effectively putting it on another level entirely. This unfortunately was also nerfed and completely removed. Since then, rifles have been on an even playing field. And with the automatic rifle change, this made me think about the rifle he was using because I did want to use it. Just didn't make any sense to use it over the Urban at that time, but now it's a completely different story. The rifle is called the ACR SS. It has the fastest fire rate than any other rifle, which is why I wanted to use it so bad. It's also rare because you can't craft it at the base of operations. You'll have to farm for it in Countdown. and pray you get the attributes you need. I got one with damage to targets out of cover and another with damage to armor. Which one do you think is better? By the way, entrenched is also great with a talent called Lucky Shot, wherein it increases your magazine size by 20%, and get this, this is crazy. While in cover, 100% of your ammo missed is returned to your magazine. This is crazy. I have that talent on the one I rolled damage to armor on, and the one with targets out of cover damage. I have Boomerang, which is arguably the best rifle talent in the game for damage. Now you know me, fam, and you know that I had to test this out in PvP, the ultimate test to see if this build is certified for all content, which is how I like to make the majority of my builds. Well, just see for yourself.
I think I might have changed my mind. Nighty night. Sit down, boy. Sit down, boy.
Agent
Sit down, dude.
Alright, I'm about to be 100% honest with y'all. The build that I use in PvE does not work that well in PvP. I got a few kills here and there, and the build hit hard, but it's just not sustainable. You won't survive. And I really think that I am to blame for a lot of this. Yes, PvP is now riddled and has been riddled with skill builds and hybrids that just frustrate you to oblivion. Explosive seeker mines and bleed hives everywhere. Man, I even saw the juggernaut build that I made and kept getting bodied by it. I had to conquer this. I could not make this video without feeling accomplished in PvP. I had to find a solution for not only me, but the Division 2 community. A hero is needed once again to cleanse the tainted lands of PvP. So after getting back in the lab, I came up with something. The counter of counters. I'm finally going against the builds I love the most. The skill and hybrid counter. I don't know what to call it yet, but maybe you can help me out after you hear what its purpose is. Before, when making builds, I always felt that I needed skill tiers in order to be effective on all levels. I made the Striker 5.5, the Ongoing Directive 5.5. I made 6-tier skill builds with crazy armor, and I'd have the Capacitor Exotic Assault Rifle to gain that DPS with the skill tiers. This, with armor cores, is a deadly combination. It gives you so many different choices in that realm of playstyles. But for this, I had to release that mentality and focus more on DPS. This way, I'm not limited to the capacitor only. Now I can use any weapon I want to, but that's not the only thing. I'm immune to pulse and have 100% hazard protection, because in PvP now, I refuse to go into conflict or the dark zone without being protected. It's just not sustainable to me. Some people just like to have really low armor and deal tons of damage, play with a 4-man team, and be annoying. Doing everything they can to keep you away from them with hives and skills is just irking me to the core. Because before, I'd be frustrated with DPS builds always using the same thing, but now it's flipped. So I had to do something. But I needed, in all of this, to figure out a way to implement the ACR SS. And I did it. The build is absolutely beautiful, but it's not quite finished yet. I will be releasing it soon. I just need to unlock one more passive modifier, and I'm golden. That modifier, I'm sure you've guessed by now, it's called Impatient. Now, brace yourselves for this one, fam, because this modifier increases your rate of fire by 30%, but reduces your magazine capacity by 50%. That's pretty crazy. But do you remember those talents I told you about earlier? Boomerang and Lucky Shot, both of which give you ammo back into your magazine while in combat. Not to mention the ZWA brand set that grants another 15% ammo capacity just for having one piece, which effectively counteracts this passive modifier's weakness. I know in my previous video I said that I'm not really into modifiers that much and I wasn't going to use them, but that's before I did some research and looked at what some of these do. I'm currently trying to unlock Impatient, and you can do that by completing priority objectives. When I finally do, the build will be complete and I can show it to you in all of its glory. Both versions, PvP and PvE. Can you imagine the build possibilities here? Anyways, now that you know what this build is all about, what should I call it? Chime in down below in the comment section. And you know I love when y'all like and subscribe to my channel. You're legends for that. And I appreciate you for watching this video to the end. If you want to see a full guide on the new seasons 2.0, then check this out right here because it's pretty much a confusing mess and that video will clear everything up for you. It also has the answers to the first 3 scout riddles in week 1. I'll see you in my next video. Be right out.